Hey.
The census sweep says you're clean. Hooray! We're bug-free.
You scanned me without my consent?
It doesn't matter. Those conventional tests are garbage. Okay, have you eaten anything out there? Because if you have, they got you.
No, I never eat anything.
You see, that's smart. That's smart, man. S-M-A-R-T. But you gotta be careful. The Institute has these tiny microscopic robots in the food, man. And they report back.
Tom, that's rubbish.
You just don't get it, Carrington. The Institute is in your blood.
What's up? Welcome to episode 161 of the Gamers in Beta podcast. This is Captain Mike back in the commander's chair. Hope everyone enjoyed last week, episode 160. Thanks to Joe and the crew for filling in my absence. It was a great show. I enjoyed it, fellas. Just reading the news today, a lot of shit going on in the world, of course, more killings and attacks, and I don't want to harp upon that shit because that's not the type of show this is, but San Diego Comic-Con also wrapped up today, and there was lots of trailers, which we're going to get to in just a little bit, but it reminded me that this world needs some real metahumans, so let me bring in my metahumans here. Let's start out with Joe State. What's going on, Joe?
Hey. Just did a live hangout last night with my wife, talking about all the crap we picked up that we're going to sell on eBay, and so a lot of people really dug that, and I'm riding the good feelings from that, and I'm stoked to be here.
Cool, good to have you on the show as usual. Jay, it was your birthday today.
Yeah,
it still is your birthday right now, so happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
What did you do today to celebrate being a year older?
Well, being how my wife plans things out so far ahead, probably in January, I penciled in on the calendar that I was going to go to local mud runs, do my redneck thing. And I went down and checked that out today, sat back and enjoyed myself. And then afterwards, I came home, and the wife and my son and my granddaughter, we sat down and had some steaks and corn and some ice cream cake, and sat down and just kind of talked, enjoyed myself. So I had a good time today.
Awesome. And mud runs, for people who don't know, based upon the pictures, I have no other facts to go off of. I didn't do any research on this. Basically, you're watching cars, buggies, trucks of some sort, something with four wheels preferably, and trying to go through the mud as fast as possible and not get stuck, or is there something else?
Actually, they're trying to get as far as they can, and whoever goes the furthest wins. Or if they make it all the way through, the person who goes through the fastest wins.
Anyways, let's get back on track and bring in the other metahuman. Sean, what's going on?
What's up, fellas? I'm just planning my vacation for September, going to Florida. Going to hang out there for about a week. Trying not to say buddy because I don't want to sound clip. So a friend of mine.
Are you going to be doing them?
We're
in private. In private you can.
We're going to be doing them a lot in private. There you go, Corey. So I'm just planning that. Probably going to hit some of the parks, but man, are they expensive. So I'm gonna. He told me to wait till I got down there and, have him pick up the tickets because it would be a lot cheaper.
Now, September, though, it's still going to be pretty friggin' toasty down there by then.
Oh, yeah, well.
No, he said to me it would be better. He said it gets cooler in September. So I'm going later in September, closer to, it's closer to the end of the month.
Make that as close to October as possible. I really don't think it cools off down there much at all. Maybe, November through, February, it's a little cooler, but good on you to suffer through that. It is rather warm where I am. Are you guys going through the heat wave too out in the Pacific Coast, Joe?
I mean, it's hot, but I don't think it's necessarily like super hot. It's just the last week has been overcast and in the high 60s, mid 70s. And so now that it's finally warming up, we're like, oh man, I'm not adjusted to this anymore.
Yeah, today was probably a cool day. It was only about 90, 91. Tomorrow's 95, Tuesday's 93, and then it dips back to 91 on Wednesday and Thursday again. So
yeah, it's 88
steamy
right now.
We did the walk around town today. We went to Jay's favorite spot, Faneuil Hall, and had some food and drinks and stuff. And
you hit up all the Pokestops?
my kids actually, my oldest kids came home from their week away with their grandmother at a summer camp down on Cape Cod, and they came back with the Pokemon Go fever.
Uh-oh.
And my middle son doesn't have a phone. So as the good dad that I am, I downloaded it and let him use my phone so he could participate in the action.
So kind.
But as we were walking around and stuff like that, man, like Boston Common and stuff like that, it just all dried up. You know, they used to have like, great looking grass and stuff like that, just like, hey, we're going through a bit of a drought here. Okay. But let's get back to the video game talk, because that's what people are tuning in for. Before we do so, the T-shirt thing that we had before Sean ended and no one bought any. Oh, boo-hoo. So that campaign was over, and now I've gone to a different store through represent.com. There is no minimum. There is no time limit. You can come in and buy one shirt, and it will be shipped to you in about a week, and there's still $15. And that is represent.com/store/gamers in beta. And I actually put a woman's design up there as well. So same price, and now I don't feel the pressure of any campaign, and people have to buy a minimum. If you want a shirt, go ahead and buy one. Thing doesn't expire. It'll be up there for the end of time.
Is there shipping on it?
I haven't gone to that process. I know the shirt itself is $15. There's probably some shipping and handling like most stores. We also have a giveaway going on for a Gwent deck and a bunch of other stuff that I accumulated at PAX East. That's going to go through the end of next week. So if you're so inclined, go to Gamers in Beta and figure out how to do that. And, follow us in various places, and that gains you entries. And oddly enough, the Gwent giveaway is more popular than the the Uncharted 4 giveaway.
That Daedalic bat has some killer shit in it, too, along with the Gwents, so.
Yep.
The what?
I was going to let it go, Joe. I was going to let it go.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Daedalic.
Daedalic.
It's his birthday. I was going to let it go, but hey.
No. That's what I do. Just hit it. There's an outtake. Shit.
Yep. There you go.
So, yeah. Check that out on gamersinbeta.com, and you can win a bunch of crap, and then I can get on with my life and figure out other giveaways to come up with. But
more shelf space, right?
Exactly. My wife keeps going, when are you getting rid of this crap? I'm like, the giveaways ends in a few more days. So let's move on to San Diego Comic-Con. A bunch of trailers came out for things like Justice League, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Joe's favorite, The Suicide Squad, Kong, Skull Island. Any of you guys get a chance to check any of those out?
I only watched the Wonder Woman one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched all of them. That Wonder Woman one looks cool.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman was probably the best of the bunch. I would agree with that. The Justice League. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I hated the effect that they used on her lasso, though. Hopefully that gets fixed in post-production or whatever, but not a fan of whatever they got going on at the moment.
It just glows even in in bright daylight. It's weird.
They had to appeal to the younger kids, They had to give them some pop, some sizzle.
Sure. Did you guys see the Marvel ones too? The TV show trailers? They put out a Luke Cage and Iron Fist ones too.
I didn't get a chance to check those out.
I think those ones came out today, but yeah, those are pretty good.
And the Kong Skull Island, I liked that one. That one, I'm curious to see that.
I haven't actually seen that one, but my buddy Jaime, he talked about that on the latest episode of Trade Waiters.
It's kind of weird what they're doing, though. I mean, they're trying to make it so that they can ultimately have a King Kong Godzilla crossover movie, so they're making him huge. So, kind of weird.
Yeah, he's very large.
Yeah.
And Suicide Squad, Joe?
Oh, I just want to mute that from my life, not
Yeah.
just on Twitter, but in life in general.
I watched that. I mean, if the kids, I don't even know if that's a age acceptable for kids.
I don't think
wouldn't
so.
say so.
Yeah. So I probably won't even. That probably won't even be on my radar then.
I'm all in, but I've never read the comics, so.
Will Smith doesn't do much for me, and all the other characters were just kind of meh. So
Yep. Yeah, I have a lot of negative things to say, but I'll spare you.
and the Justice League thing, I don't know. I don't know if I've have come to grips that Ben Affleck is Batman. That's still like a hang up for me. I can't like totally buy into it.
I got to give him credit. He at least did better than the last. So
Really?
I mean, as far as I think, I like Christian Bale and everything, but I think Ben did a really good job. I mean, the movie sucked because I just saw it.
Yeah.
But I think Ben held his own with being Batman. I think he was meant to play that part. I just think it needed to come now and not a few years ago. But I mean, my original Batman is Michael Keaton. That's
Right.
who I like.
You're not an Adam West guy?
Oh no, Adam. Well, obviously Adam West. Do I have
that
to
was
say
a
Adam
TV
West?
show,
I mean,
though,
that's a given. I think no.
Yeah.
But Michael Keaton, as far as the new movies go, was mine.
Who else was there? Val Kilmer,
Yep.
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
But that's been pretty consistent that Affleck did a good job. The movie was atrocious, but his portrayal of Batman was, most people were surprised and thought that he did a very good job with it.
Well, in this trailer, you don't see him as Batman. You only see him as Bruce Wayne.
As Bruce Wayne, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So nothing really like blew me away. Like, wow, I can't wait to see this in 3 years whenever it comes out. It was just okay. Any other San Diego Comic-Con news that dropped that we might not be talking about? Something I missed? Anything?
I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to keep my eye on it. So
Yeah, a lot of shit going down for sure. Let's move on then to Rocket League. Psyonix says they have figured out crossplay like they did many months ago, but now they say they've actually figured it out. And they're just officially now waiting for Sony to buy in. No word from Sony if that's going to happen or not. And still we're not getting any details to what this crossplay really means. Is it?
I'm curious if they're just going to, if Sony will just ignore it and just not say anything, or if they're actually going to
I think it depends of how
something out there one way or the other.
how
it'd
loud
be
people
hilarious if they
complain.
just played coy. What? They never contacted us. What are you? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, they can blame it now on Adam Boyce for leaving. They can say, "Oh, he took the emails with him. We never saw anything."
Yeah. Yeah, they must have gone to him.
Right. But still, I know a lot of people are excited about it, and a lot of people still play the game, Corey included. I am really curious to see how they pulled this off, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I've said before, it's got to be more than just meeting up via Discord or Skype. It's got to be some in-game party system going on.
Well, I mean, there's not a really huge difference there between what's going on now. You can play with people on PC and an Xbox, or PC and PS4. You just don't have the crossover for PlayStation and Xbox, which I understand that is a little different because they're both closed systems. But I guess technically, if you look at Steam, that is too. So, and they're making that work. Or actually, how did we chat when we did that? I don't think there was anything actually in the game. You had to find something external, correct?
Well, there is push to chat. The way we did it through the competitions is we were all on PS4, and
Right.
I think we weren't in party with
Anybody on PC, right? We couldn't hear anybody that was on PC. It was separate. And I think when they did play that way, where they had a mixed team, they would use Discord or something along those lines.
So clearly we need Corey here to dive into this deep. So I don't want to go over this too much, but what is the big deal then? If you're on Xbox One and I'm on PS4 and we can't chat to each other, why is this such a huge deal? I mean, I understand it grows the player base, there's more people to play from, but for older adults like ourselves who don't really play against randoms, what is the big deal? Are we still going through private matches and user passcodes and things like that? Is that
Politics.
I'd
All this is
imagine.
politics. That's all.
Yeah,
it is.
I'd imagine that it would include that. You'd have to have the room code and the or the room name and password, and then you could go on to the server and all play from the different.
Yeah, unless Psyonix has cooked up something that's going to allow a party system, to see friends on both systems, which I don't think is coming. Then I really
Just
don't.
an internal Rocket League friends list as opposed to. They'd have to build a whole new infrastructure, huh?
Right, that's what I'm getting at. So to me, I still don't see the big deal if we have to go through the private room and the passcode and then either Discord or Skype. But
yeah, and it'd be kind of weird if, like, I was thinking, what would happen if I ran in? I have a game. I've got somebody over here and they're using my PS4. I'm on my Xbox. It's Maniac 17 on both, and then Steam is also Maniac 17. What happens when it's all the same name? But I guess at that point in time you run into find some way to fix it. They're saying they've got a things, and I guess maybe they've gone that far or not. But we'll see later on. But
we won't
see. It's the stepping stone. Well, exactly. We may not see. We may not see it. I mean, we've already seen the infancy of it. Like I said, the PC cross. But this would be a stepping stone because I cannot remember any game ever being crossplay between the two consoles. They've done PC before, but not the two consoles that I can think of. I could be wrong.
Right. Yeah. So I am cautiously optimistic that they have something really great in store for us. And just to be abundantly clear, I hope Sony goes ahead and acknowledges it and make it happen. I want to see how it plays out. Moving on, there is still no word from Microsoft on the release date for the 500 gigabyte or the 1 terabyte Xbox One S. There's about another week to 10 days for them to announce it before people are going to just go ahead and maybe jump on that early train because the August 2nd date is coming up close for the 2 terabyte.
I think they're waiting on that. I'm really disappointed because they actually sent out a tweet. I can't remember which one it was. I got it favorited somewhere, saying that they were going to announce. This was last week. They said, we will announce next week. You'll hear about that next week. And we got nothing.
Right.
So the usual, say something, and then there's, oh no, we can't put that out there or something. Who knows what happened in the background? But still, they're doing it again. It's miscommunication. So
there was a great article that Jay sent me from Tweaktown that sort of summarized all this miscommunication that they've had, and I think I tweeted to Mikey Barra about that, and he actually responded this time and said that he would be more than happy to talk to the author of Tweaktown about the article because he didn't feel he obviously didn't agree with this.
Well, he said in that tweet, he said, "We've been clear." It's like,
right,
clear as friggin' smoked glass.
And Brian Crescente from Polygon tweeted out, a similar article that Polygon had for the same thing that Tweaktown was running. Yep. And I responded back to him, disappointed, do you feel this is a bait and switch? And he said, I wouldn't categorize it that harsh, a bait and switch, but definitely definitely a disappointment.
I believe it's not quite a bait and switch. I would say that is a sales tactic to sell the more expensive unit first.
Well, I hope
it's lying by omission.
Yes.
For their sake, I do hope that this coming week, maybe they would delay because of San Diego Comic-Con, and I'll give them that pass. That's certainly an important event for people that work in the gaming industry. So maybe they were preoccupied by that and couldn't release the press release to announce the dates. So maybe that's coming this week, and that will give people time to then evaluate whether they want to get the 2 terabyte or the cheaper ones. I'm hoping they give us that news this week. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so, because I have a pre-order in for the 500 gigabyte 1S. So, and that was the $299 one. So hopefully we hear something.
I have a pre-order in as well, but talking to my financial advisor, December is usually carved out for the kiddos. Yes. So if the 500 or 1 terabyte were to come out in December, then that would not go well with our financial plan. Now, I could also get the October I could pencil things in for October for the Gears of War bundle, but then I also run up against the PS4 Neo and PSVR because they're supposed to come out in October, theoretically. So I might just be grabbing the 2 terabyte August 2nd.
Really?
Because that's when it makes the most sense to get things. So.
Well, I would have to say, and this kind of goes along another thing that went to people that you were tweeting about. IGN's going to have, they are currently right now testing one of those for the 4K stuff. They picked up, I believe, the same television you have,
Right.
and they'll be testing. They picked it up so that they have one in the office that they could use and test with, and they're testing the 2 terabyte Xbox One S right now, so they'll have some articles out about the information about what this is actually doing, which will be nice because it will clear up some of the smoky glass that Microsoft has. So,
right, and hopefully it's out before the release date, and I'm not talking like a day or two.
yeah,
You know, give people time to act on those pre-orders, whether positively or negatively.
yeah, and they tend to work with Microsoft sometimes. I mean, and by working with them, I mean that they'll say like, okay, we're going to put out our article. It's going to be a factual article, but we'll put it up about the same time. So maybe that's what's happening with this. They're going to announce when the others will come out, and they'll, we'll see this stuff. So
Nope.
Stay strong, Captain Mike. Stay strong.
Yes.
yeah,
I'm
still
any
waiting.
prayers or positive thoughts you can send my way, Joe. I would appreciate it. All right, let's get into the community question of the week. Sean, why don't you tell the people what the question is since you came up with it?
Do you think game developers should rely on community mods to enhance their games, and why?
All right. I'll read a couple of these, and then we have a answer from one of our other co-hosts who can't be here. So let's see. First up, Jacob Briggs. At Jacob Brigg on Twitter. I think developers should do their own updates. Use mods as a talent tool, not as a free labor model to make games better. Raven King at Raven King 1234. Developers shouldn't rely on community mods because this is their game and it should be how they made it. Sensing a trend. Let's see. Detroit Slasher of Open Forum Radio says no. They need to put their vision and all into the game. Anything we buy after that should just add to the experience. And Shownuff from Gamer Husbands says never used mods before, but I would want to be engrossed with the core game. Mods should be the icing on the cake, in my opinion.
All right, and Corey wrote in. That's Catwood with a 0 as the second O on Twitter. And he said, I don't mind if they keep everything open and allow consumers to create mods for a game. It creates a great community around a game. Relying solely on it is poor form and sounds distasteful. However, if it's because it's from a small dev with very limited funds, that's a different story. Also, I am quite intoxicated as I write this. Balls, cock, balls and cock.
So Catwood is deep in the woods of Maine, killing animals and commiserating with his high school buddies. So hopefully he hasn't pulled a was that VP for Bush? Hopefully he hasn't.
Cheney.
Yeah,
Cheney.
hopefully he hasn't pulled a Dick Cheney and shot one of his high school buddies.
Maybe he's actually doing it the opposite, and he's actually commiserating with the animals and killing all of his high school buddies.
Hey, now there's a fucking endorsement that I can get behind.
What is this, Friday the 13th?
No, I'm just vegan.
Exactly. And I hate anybody I went to high school with, so hey.
Hey.
I don't talk to anybody from back then. You kidding me? It's like 23 fucking years ago. You think I still have something in common with you people? Anyways, don't get me fucking started.
Oh, shit.
Jay, what is the question for next week?
The question for next week is... I'm looking at the wrong thing again. Jesus. We got to put this in order.
It's not in order right now?
Now it's in order. I'm out of order. How's that? All right. You're going on an extended vacation with the family. What system and games are you taking?
And we'll define extended family vacation longer than a week. So...
when I hear extended vacation, I just assume you're getting arrested.
That's a new one on me, but hey.
So, what games and console are you bringing to the pokey?
Anything that can fit in the rectum, right? So maybe maybe the mini NES.
Oh, geez.
Hey, I actually I was at a garage sale find yesterday. It was one of those micro Game Boy Advances. That would totally, I mean, that'd probably be the easiest thing to keister out of all of the other things.
Did you pick it up?
Hell yeah, I picked it up. It was only $5, and that shit
Yeah.
sells on eBay for like $100. It was the
Yeah.
Famicom edition.
Yeah, that's why I was like, did you grab it? Man, those things get scuffed up.
Now, are you
Like crazy.
keeping it or are you going to resell?
Oh, it's already up, and it's already got bids.
Well, so that's that.
This is Joe. Come on.
That's how I pay my bills.
That's it, business.
Now, I don't know if you want to talk about that, so tell me if you don't want to, but how's the tattoo apprenticeship going? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's going solid. I was just in the last 2 days. It sounds like I'll be able to start tattooing my own thighs in a month or two.
Yeah, baby, thigh tattoos.
Which will be great. Torture. Ryan was like, yeah, man, it's pretty much the worst thing ever, tattooing yourself, because, like, you can stop. So it's the worst, but, you got to start on someone, and it's a good idea to, like, tattoo yourself before you get your actual license or whatever, because, what if you really hate doing it? And then you just forked over that $200 so you can get that license, and now you just wasted that money.
Now, let me ask you, when you're going to tattoo your thighs, are the images going to be facing you or facing out?
Facing out.
Okay.
I'm not some new school pussy. People always coming in, I want it facing me so I can see it.
These tattoos speak. This butterfly speaks to me, so it has to be looking at me.
Some chick got a cross on her finger, and she's like, I want to be able to see it. And Ryan's like, it's going to be an upside down cross to everybody else. No. So she gets it, and then she's like, oh, yeah, you were right. There's an upside down cross.
It's a good thing you listened after.
Nice one.
No good. Ryan's not going to get a good review on Yelp now. Oh, brother. Thigh tattoos are very enjoyable from the person perspective of getting one, because my body doesn't have to be in an uncomfortable position. I can be sitting down normally in a chair. I can look out on the horizon and don't have to be looking at what's going on. I don't have someone's face up close to me. So I really enjoy those tattoos, but those long lines, if you got like a big drawing, when they take it from like your, either from your knee up or from your, like the top of your thigh down to your knee, if you got a long line, that wakes you right up, let me tell you.
I'm sure it does. Yeah, I've realized that pretty much everywhere that I have left to get tattooed is supposed to suck. So I'm not really that excited about that part of it. Thighs suck. The rest of the torso sucks. The back's supposed to suck. The calf is supposed to not be that great.
I'd put it this way. Anything post 40 sucks. I don't care if you're getting it in the easy, anything in the easiest place, it sucks because your body can't take the pain anymore.
That's what I say every time. The older you get, the more it sucks to get tattooed. I'm only 31 and I'm already pussing out, but I mean, I can't stop now. I'm pretty dedicated. Just got my stomach done, and that was torture, but I went through it.
Yep. Well, let's move on to some other things that suck and torture. Activision, this is our Dillagaff, so let's all pause here for the music.
Now it's the same old story and it really sucks. Thing you gotta do just to make a buck. You might say that I'm pressing my luck. Do I look like I give a fuck?
Okay, that was long enough. San Diego Comic-Con news. This is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 will be released, and it looks like they'll be coming out sometime in early August, I think August 9th. And they're going to be released, either you can buy them together as a bundle for $60, or you can buy them separately for $39.99. There is a UI upgrade included in this, and a graphics overhaul. The Diddlegaff question is, I guess we could say, what is your fuck level with this? And a follow-up to that would be, would you have just preferred backwards compatibility for these? So I will go first. I'd say my fuck level is probably a solid 10. These are great games, especially the first one. I think came with something like 140 characters. So these are really enjoyable games, and they also co-op, online co-op. So I think it's a great thing. Now, it's Activision. What did they do? Did they enhance them? Quasi-enhanced? Are they going to blow my mind? Those things are not on the table yet, so it's tough to give a accurate level of fucks. But I'm going to go with 10, and I would probably prefer the graphics overhaul and the UI upgrades over a backwards compatibility, because these games are pretty old. I want to say maybe 2010-ish, around there, and then a few years after that for the second one. So I am bypassing backwards compatibility and giving 10 fucks. Jay, how about you?
Let's see. Activision. Older games that I never played these. So I think the only Marvel Activision thing that I ever was really interested in was Deadpool. And I still haven't gotten that. So I'm going to have to go with 0 fucks.
And that means you would probably prefer backwards compatibility, but you don't even have them, right? So you couldn't even use them.
Right, so I don't even have them, so I mean, it'd be cool, but I never played the games before. They're older games. It's Activision. They're trying to get more money out of this because it's Activision, as far as I'm concerned. I don't mean to be negative, but I'm just trying to put, the facts in place here, and so for me, I like Marvel. I like the characters and stuff. I mean, you got Wolverine, Spider-Man, Captain America, but I've never played this, so never interested me before. It still does not interest me, and especially if it's an Activision thing where they're trying to redo it and just trying to get some more money. Because how much is this going to be? $60 or
for two of them?
For the two of them, so
yeah. And I did,
$30 or $40 for one.
And hold on 1 second. I did misspeak, so this might change. This might change things up a little bit. So I said 2010. Actually, the first game came out in 2006, so that's 10 years old. God knows what a backwards compatibility game would look like at 10 years old. Mm. And the second one, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, came out in 2009. So that is a 7-year-old game.
And there's maybe one thing that would maybe give me 1/10 of a fuck. Is there any co-op?
Yeah, online.
It's online.
4-player co-op.
4-player co-op. There's my 10th of a fuck.
Okay. Sean, how about yourself? And these are coming to, I believe, PC as well. So PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So I bring that up, Sean, because you cannot weasel out and say, well, I don't own consoles. So my fuck level's at 0.
Wow, the weasel out part. Nice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, first time on PC.
It's good to see you back in the helm, Captain Mike. I appreciate that. So
we did miss you.
My fuck levels is about a 7. I've never played any of these games, but I'm kind of looking forward to this after I read the article. So I'm willing to check it out. I mean, I don't know if I'll enjoy it or not, but I'm at least willing to give it a shot. So I'm about at the 7.
All right,
I guess.
Now, Joe, we know you are a Marvel guy, not a DC guy. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, and you do own PS4, and you do play on PC. So tell me, where's your fuck level at?
Probably a 1.
Whoa.
A 1 fuck.
Wow.
And why is that, sir?
So, why was this? I was a kid, and money wasn't the best. I didn't have the best cash flow. I got a job when I was 15, working at McDonald's and all that. But I didn't have all the most money. I had to still pay my parents some of my money and all that shit. So I didn't get to buy all the games that I wanted. I had to save my money and all that. So I went and I bought Marvel Ultimate Alliance, not really knowing the style of game or anything like that. I just found out it was a Marvel game, and I was like, badass, I'm going to get this. And I got home and found out that it just I don't know if it was just because I was younger at the time and just not looking for that kind of game or whatever, but that game was just not for me at the time. And I was super pissed off, but the return policy at Game Crazy was if it's open, you can't return it. No buyer's remorse. So I basically just got stuck with it. And never gave it another try after that. I was just maximum disappointment. But now that I'm a little older, maybe I'll wait until it's available at the library and check it out.
Excellent. So it seems like I'm the only one that really gives a fuck. It's okay. I can be the lone wolf. I can stand out on my own. I got 2 feet.
I
Comfortable
mean,
with
hey,
that.
it's not 0 fucks.
So to summarize, I said 10, Joe said 1, Sean said 7, and Jake 1/10 of a fuck. Is that right?
Accurate.
Accurate. Okay. Well, let's move on to what we've been playing. We've got a lot to say this week, so maybe we'll save mine for the end. Joe, looks like your list is rather short, so why don't we go with you first?
Super short. Yeah, I got to put a little time into Overwatch. They did put out the update that I had mentioned on last week's show when I was hosting, and I got to check out the new character, Anna, or Anna. I don't know which one it is, but whatever. And she was cool. I played the weekly rotating game mode where there's just, I think it's all support characters and defensive characters, and they got rid of all tanks and offensive characters. And there's a lot of push on using the Anna chick. And so, I did that, and I was healing people with her sniper rifle from long distance, and I was also trying to do damage from long distance and checking out all of her ultimates and all that kind of stuff. And she was a pretty interesting character to use, but she didn't feel mobile enough for me. After playing the other sniper and having her cool shift button where you shoot out that grappling hook thing and you can zoom all over the place and get up in high quarters, that's what's up when you're playing a sniper. That's what I want to do. So this was just kind of meh. And then, I did play a few of the just regular matches, the quick play and all that stuff. And I got to check out the buff for Diva, who used to be the character that I wanted to main. And she definitely is able to hold her own in a fight now. And so that's a positive. Definitely feel better about playing as her.
And people are still playing this game at a feverish clip, right? There's no, you never log in and there's never no one there, right? There's always someone to play with.
Yeah, generally if you're trying to just connect to any random public game, you can find that pretty easily. Sometimes, depending on whether or not people like the weekly rotating mode, that can be have you sitting there waiting like a minute or two to find a match. But that just speaks to whether or not people like that mode, because you could always just pop in another mode and you can get right into a game right there.
Excellent. So just this one game because you've been busy with the eBay and the tattooing, is that right?
Correct, yeah. It's definitely trying to find a balance with all that stuff, and I'm also trying to also get into the gym and all that. And then I'm also representing on the YouTube channel with the wife as well. She's kind of... We're trying to get that Google money, so...
How often do they pay out? Can you set your own schedule, or is it just monthly or something?
I think it's once a month, but they won't pay out unless you have over $100 in your balance. And so once you hit over $100, then they'll pay you out. So we've been able to get a few payments at this point. So that's super
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So I've been doing a couple videos a week. They're probably only 10 minutes long or something. And where I just act like an idiot and talk about the shit that I'm shipping out, usually only 5 things at a time.
Nice.
Excellent. Now, Sean, your list is small as well, so tell us what you've been playing.
Just a bunch of 7 Days to Die. I've been working a lot too this week, so it's been a little bit rough, but that's pretty much all I've been playing. This week I'm going to be purchasing the Fahaba for Fallout 4.
Don't get me started. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna. That's all I was gonna say. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Having fun with that. I have my own server and stuff, so it's kind of cool playing with a bunch of friends.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, all right, Jay, you seem to have the lengthier list here. So, what's been going on with you?
Let's see. I'm gonna go backwards as I have them listed here. But I played Destiny last night. I hadn't played Destiny in 6 months or more. And jumped in and played with some people last night and had a ball. So it still kind of holds up. And we'll have some news on Destiny later. But I played Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Same thing as last week. Still enjoying the things, the stuff that's going on. Fighting multiple enemies at once now, where when I first started, it was kind of frustrating. Now it's nice and gives a good challenge, especially where I've leveled up a little bit. And I have upgraded my armor and weapons. Although, if anybody knows how to get the, master crafted crossbow, I have the feline one, and I cannot find out where to upgrade it. I know it can be, I just don't know where to either find the diagrams for them or what's going on with that. So if anybody knows, give me a holla. I jumped on and played some Zombie Army Trilogy with Detroit Slasher over the week. That was a good time. We had some fun doing that. That game can be pretty daunting sometimes, especially if it's just two of you. So, Mike, you must remember the days of playing that.
Yes, you have to not only keep track of who's in front of you, but the sides and everything like that. They can come in various different places. I don't know if we were ever able to beat that one level that we tried one time with me, you, and Alex. It was like the second to last.
Yeah, I completed it with my brother at one time because he was just a beast. There's no way otherwise. So I think that he completed. That was the last mission, right? The one with the stairs and stuff.
Inside that house, or inside that building, you had to crawl in. I'm not sure if you completed that with your brother, because when we played it, you were like,
"No, we didn't."
Seen this before.
Right. It was the other one that we did, so we never did complete that last one. Yeah, that game gets some wicked hard. So, but we played that and enjoyed it. It was nice to be able to play with the Detroit Slasher there. So thank you for that. And then my last one is the Games with Gold on the Xbox, Tumblestone, which I believe is pretty much on everything, including your toaster, your fridge, your microwave. I don't know what the hell, but from what I've been told. But I am playing on the Xbox One because it's the Games with Gold and playing it. And I got sucked into it big time. I've been playing a lot. It's this kind of puzzle game. You look at it, almost looks like Tetris in a way, but it's nothing like it because the blocks aren't dropping. They're up top. You have to match 3 of them to make them disappear. And you got to kind of do it in the right order, or you can't clear the screen to continue on. And there's multiple colors, so you're going to get 3 of the same color and get them. And then as you get further on in the game, it gets to a point where they have some blocks that you can't blast apart. And like every other time that you pick a block, that stone will either appear or disappear, so you can't get the pieces above it. So you've got to kind of change your tactics on how do you play. And I'm enjoying it. It's kind of as far as picking up and playing and how I'm enjoying it, it kind of runs into kind of like Peggle. I can just go in and play for a little bit, and end of the night when I get tired, although not quite as easy as Peggle. Peggle, you just kind of drop the ball and go and didn't care. With this, you've got to really think it out, but it's still, end of the night, I'm kind of tired and just want to kind of wind down a little bit, put that in and play a little bit. So I think it's definitely for free. It's excellent. Matter of fact, I probably would have paid, $10 for it. So really enjoying that.
Cool. I'll have to check it out. I know I have it on PC, but curious to see how it plays on the consoles. Now, before I get into Fallout 4 here, let me tell you, I've been playing Song of the Deep, which is by Insomniac Games, published by GameStop. And this is for people who don't know, a Metrovania type game. You're some sort of submarine. Basically, I think the gist of the story is you're a daughter and your father has told you many bedtime stories about the dangers of the sea, and at one particular time it gets blurred between stories and reality, and all of a sudden your father got sucked down into the sea and you got to go rescue him. And you have start out as this little submarine, and you can earn things throughout the course of the game to enhance the submarine's abilities. So played probably about another hour and a half, 2 hours into the game so far. But it's a side-scrolling puzzle game, pretty much.
How do the controls and stuff work? Because I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I do have it, but I haven't had a chance to play. And I've heard that the controls can be almost kind of laggy, kind of.
I had no issues with controls. The only issues, there's a lot of current under the water. and you just have to be careful of the current. That seemed to be the only thing so far. Right now, I have a boost ability and I have the claw, and it just got to get used to picking things up with the claw and then using the right stick to aim the left stick to aim where you want to throw the object you pick up with. But the controls didn't seem, first of all, they don't seem difficult to grasp, and they didn't seem to have any issues. Maybe I'll go back and now that you've said it, I will notice something, but I wouldn't say that was the...
Your description of current sounds like what people have been complaining about. So it's part of the game because you're underwater. So now it makes sense.
I mean, that's a puzzle. So you have to try to fight your way against the current, and you can go up into these little, alcoves to escape, and then you go back down, you go up, rinse, repeat to try to move further along.
You think you'd call those current events?
Oh. Joe State 1, J 0.
Yep. I'm behind today.
But yeah, it's an enjoyable game, and I want to thank my buddy Aaron for sending that along. And he also sent me along a code for the game. We'll be giving that away on the Twitter, so be on the lookout for that.
And I just wanted to mention that it's GameStop, basically, that is publishing it.
Right.
But their publishing name is Game Trust Games.
Yes. Actually, if you look at the Wikipedia page, just the standard page that pulls up before you click into it, it says publisher is GameStop. When you click into the article, it actually says Game Trust Games.
Yeah, the Game Trust Games, because it's just the name of what they've called their publishing arm. So.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get into Fallout 4 now.
Yeah.
So this has been a long time coming. I think I'm just under 9 days worth of playtime. So someone do the math quick on that. That's got to be close to 200 hours. And after hearing Sean talk about it, and he started it way after me and finished it, I was like, I got to get this fucking thing done with. It's dragging on too long. I got to see how this is playing out. And of course, when you play a game for, 150 hours before you really start to get serious about it and try to figure out the story, you're sort of left with, this is going to be a great ending. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to be the creme de la creme of video game endings. Well, boy, was I fucking wrong.
Yeah, I don't believe I said that, did I?
No, I'm saying me.
Okay. Okay.
I'm saying that was when you play something for 150 hours, you sort of have this inner built up anticipation that something's going to be very marvelous at the end. Because why else would you play it for 150 hours, right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I got to the end and I was very disappointed.
216 hours, Mike.
Yeah.
And you were disappointed, as was I.
And I don't think it's any secret here, so I don't want to say spoilers. It's no secret that you have to pick some sort of faction. As being a noob to the Fallout games, is that typical for all of them? Anyway.
Yes, I believe so.
So, we're talking about the Institute, Railroad, Minutemen, and the Brotherhood of Steel. The other factions didn't play into it as far as the end, as far as I could tell. Like the Greaser people and
Underground. What are they? What's the Underground Railroad one?
The Gunners, the Railroad.
Yeah. The Railroad. Yeah.
There was the Gunners, the Raiders, the Mutants, and all that other nonsense.
But none of those
were the big ones.
But the Mutants didn't figure into. You couldn't align yourself with the Mutants.
No. That's what I'm saying. No. I mean, it's just only the big four. The ones you'd mentioned.
No, you couldn't. I think you could with the not the Gunners either, but you could with the Railroad. So yeah.
So again, Institute, Railroad, Minutemen, and what did I say? Institute, Railroad, Minutemen, and Brotherhood of Steel. So those are the four. The other ones, I came across them, but I didn't even do anything with them. The people that have that thing on their chest, Adam.
Oh, yeah.
They don't.
The children of Adam.
They don't figure in either, right?
Nope, they don't.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
They're just side quests.
Yep.
Sorry, spoilers.
I don't know if
it's not really spoilers, no. And I think you want to mention which one you went with because
sure.
Spoiler free.
Well, this is what I this is the I'm going to try to get around spoilers as best I can here. But the Brotherhood of Steel, to me, I'm not saying they had a hardline vibe to them that turned me off, but the guy was an asshole at the Cambridge police station to me every time. that gave me missions. So that pissed me off. And then I got a weird vibe from Dance. Like, I got like I don't know. I just like, you know what, I'm done with this guy. And what was the elder, whatever the elder guy's name was, I didn't like him either. So I was like, all right, Brotherhood of Steel, they got to go. And I was disappointed when I got to the Institute, had that initial conversation when you get there. Leave it like that. Yep. And I had such a bad reaction. I mentioned this on the 40cast this week, that I shot him immediately. I killed him immediately. And I went around killing everybody. I was so disappointed with what just happened that I lost it. That I just went around and shot him point blank, and I went.
That's awesome.
And I went around everywhere else, and as soon as I saw anybody, I killed them. And I was like, all right, well, maybe this, after a shitload of hours, maybe this isn't the best thing to do. And I made a save, and luckily I had a save just before I got to the Institute, and I replayed that again. So I'm going to go back and see what happens if I actually killed everybody there, how that's going to play out. But so I went back to the Institute, and I followed all the missions and let everything play out. And ultimately, I decided to go against the Institute, and I killed that person again in the very end. And so, yeah, I sided with the Railroad.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Brotherhood of Steel was eliminated. We went there and took care of them, so they're completely out of the picture. And so is the Institute. They're completely out. So at this particular point, I would assume it's just me with the Railroad against everybody else. The Raiders and the Super Mutants.
We'll have to talk afterwards, too. I went with the Institute, and that's all I'm going to say. So, because the decisions when you go with it at that point in time with what happens to other factions can kind of be spoilers.
Yep. So I was very dissatisfied. Sean, why don't you jump in here? What decision did you make? Who did you go with?
I did all three. I tried all of them, but I stuck. The Institute was the first one I went with. But obviously not liking what I had heard when I got to the Institute either. I did the same thing you did. I went on a killing spree. I
just blamed that guy. I was like, really? I was like, is this really what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, you got to be shitting me right now. No,
I just fucking I just unloaded on the dude.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't go with the Institute, Mike.
I am a family first guy, and blood is thicker than water type guy, 99.9% of the time. But fuck that guy.
No, that's why I was wondering why you didn't go with them. They had gorillas.
Yeah, but they were not real gorillas, and I killed them, and I killed them too.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah, wow.
Well, you had to.
Wow, you went ape freaking shit. You lost it.
No, but you had to though. That was a mission. You had to go in there when you go against the Institute. No, I was. Part of the reason that I killed him instantly is because I wanted to see what the insides were of him. I didn't believe what was coming out of his mouth, so I had to kill him to see.
Oh, I actually was it him or one of the doctors? I can't remember. I accidentally killed them. For some reason I slipped and I hit the button and
no,
and killed them.
I was also very disappointed with the glowing sea and who I had to meet up with there, Virgil. I thought he looked terrible. I was like, they really dropped the ball in this because it's a big effort to go find him. And then when you get there, I was like, really? This is what I'm talking to?
Yeah, you're like, this is the quest that... And I think for you, a lot of it was build up, too, because you're like, oh, I got to go to the glowing sea. Everybody says you got to go to the glowing sea. It's just, that is a very important quest, but when you get there, it's not as, like...
First of all, it's not a sea.
Holy shit.
Right?
So, yeah.
And I made the mistake at one particular point, Virgil asked you to get him something, and I thought I got it for him. So after I wiped everybody out, I was like, all right, let me go back to this poor bastard and help him out. And I guess I didn't get what I needed for him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I quickly got out of Dodge and fast traveled back to Sanctuary.
Now, this really isn't too much of a spoiler thing. It's just kind of, of how you get there and, protection and armor and stuff. Did you find that your radiation sensitivity was
I had
not what you thought it would be getting in there?
I had no problems in the glowing sea, and I will tell you I had the hazmat suit on underneath the a full power armor, lead plated power armor.
Holy shit!
Well, that's what Sean. Well, that's what Sean told me to do. He told me to get the. So I had
The lead plated, yeah.
I had the T60 Brotherhood of Steel power armor, and I converted their paint over to the lead plate, and so I had a full set of that, and I had the hazmat suit on underneath.
See, I didn't realize you could wear the hazmat suit underneath, so what I did is I did both, because you go back multiple times. So one time I went in with the power armor because I had finally, this was the second time, because I'd finally gotten enough lead to line my T60 suit. So, and then before that I used the radiation suit, a hazmat suit.
Now, I will tell you, the lead plate and the hazmat is not enough in other places that you go to in the game. And
you'll get 1 to 5 rads or something like that.
I got down to it was like negative 18 at one point, and I had to quickly use the rad X and rad away.
Yep.
So, I was also very displeased with the end of the game, and again I got the railroad ending. And this is not anything story-based. This is from a technical design perspective. I get done with the game, and one of the guys on the railroad, his name is Tinker Tom, and
I hate that bastard.
He's inserted like halfway into this console that you have to enter. You have to interact with him, but half of his body was stuck in it, and half of it wasn't, and I couldn't progress, and I had to try to bump him out of the way. No one at Bethesda really tested this game when you're having dialogue and you're in the power armor. 9 out of 10 times, if I'm talking to anybody in the power armor, the power armor would cover their face, so I couldn't see anything. Now, maybe that's just a PS4 version, and it's not like that on PC and Xbox One, but I would get a lot of clipping when I was in power armor and I had to talk to anyone. And when you're
I found it happened if I was inside a building in power armor with other people where it was tight,
right. Yeah.
Confined. Yes, I would run into that. I played on one in. Sean, did you have that issue? You're playing on PC, correct?
Yeah, I had one problem, I think, with the power armor, and it was really janky. I had to actually shut the game down and go back in, and then my save had saved it that way, so I had to go back a save because my power armor, when I got into it, it looked like it was floating above me.
Yes, I have seen the screenshots of that from people.
So I was and I was right in the middle of a battle, and I wasn't sure if I was actually protected or it was just that, so I couldn't continue playing. But other than that, no, I haven't had any problems with it.
And the frame rate at the very end, when you're leaving whatever you just did, it went down to 0 frames. It was stuttering bad, very bad.
Oh, wow.
And I
didn't run into that with the Xbox.
I was like, really? This is like the final moment of the game. This is, the climax, and this is the type of performance I'm getting out of your game. Very disappointed in that aspect.
Another glitch that you had, I want to bring this up because it's, if anybody ever goes in and plays Fallout, you get, Fallout games are known for getting glitched into, rocks in the environment. And you had that happen?
Yeah, I would always fast travel back to wherever I was.
Right, and I had forgotten about that, and I was like, how the hell did I get out of that? Because one time I did it, and I actually went back a game save, and then the second time that I had it happen, I did the same thing. I fast traveled, but I forgot about it until you told me that. So it's a good thing to know that you don't have to go back and lose where you're at. If you have the opportunity, you can fast travel and get out of that situation.
As long as you've already unlocked the place. So if you just rolled up on the place for the first time and you got stuck next to a tree and a fence, then yeah, you're probably screwed. But if you've already been to this place, or as you approached it, you unlocked the place, then yes, you can fast travel back to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Fallout 4. Boy, they need a lot of help if they're going to release a game, and it's probably 5-6 years before they put out another one, right?
They need a new engine. They really do. I mean, I loved the game, but Witcher really spoiled us.
Yeah.
I've said it before, but they really spoiled us. And I think a lot of the newer games that are out, they're gonna have to come out with a new engine.
So I am at the point where the game has left such a bad taste in my mouth from the story and then the technical issues at the end that, Sean, I'm not ready to jump into Far Harbor anytime soon.
Well, I mean, I don't blame you for that. I mean, it sounds like you had a pretty shitty. I wasn't a big fan of the ending either, but I love Fallout. I mean, Fallout 3 was my favorite game, and Fallout 4 wasn't bad. I mean, the story could have used a little bit more to it. No. But some of the side quests are actually more exciting than the actual main storyline. So,
and let me be clear, I enjoyed the final outcome because of what happened in the story. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so because I was so upset, I enjoyed the ending because I got to seek revenge. But I was like, really? This is the story they're trying to tell me, though? This is where this is going? All this work, and this is what it led up to? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was very disappointed with my ending, but and unfortunately, I did not save. And listeners, if you are playing Fallout and you haven't gotten to the end, or you're going to play through, do a save before you go to the Institute. Believe me, you have the opportunity to do it. Put a save in there and save it, and so that you can go back and then you can replay and make different choices.
Well, let's move on. I've beaten that up pretty good. I'll just say, Todd Howard, and your writers, you could have come up with something better. At least maybe you could have let it linger a little bit longer as you got into the Institute. You hit me with it right away, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. So, anyways.
It's still an enjoyable game, though. Sounds like we're going to be shitting on it, but I played it, and
what I didn't like...
I was over 200 hours. I played the shit out of it, enjoyed it. I was just a little disappointed with my ending, and I did go in and play... Did either one of you play the robot?
No.
One? No? Yeah, it's interesting. So
I wanted to clear this up.
But just not now. So
the last tip I'll give people in the Institute, it's very easy to get lost and figure out if you jump out of your power armor, it tells you what level you need to be on and how many meters away it is. Inside the power armor, it just gives you this tan square that you're going to, but you don't know what floor it's on and anything like that. So if you jump out, it gives you the arrow and the meters. Yeah. Took me a hot minute to remember that. Joe, you still with us, buddy?
Heck yeah, I'm still with you.
Because I know that you love Uno, and we're going to jump in now to some... We're going to jump into some news right now, and we know... Joe, did you ever have a 360 back in the day?
Nah, man.
No, all right. Well, Jay used to expose himself on the Uno with the Xbox camera, right, Jay?
I did?
Just once or twice.
That doesn't surprise me.
So Uno was notorious. I think
it's just a helicopter.
I think Uno is the reason that they took the gifting option away on Xbox, right? If I remember that correctly, there was
there was something like that. I think part of it was people were sending because you could send pictures via the messages. That was a part of it too. But Uno was just people would get on there and be like, all right, I'll put you in a party with my girlfriend playing Uno on camera, and she'll be bouncing joyfully while you play.
Yep. Right, because your character would usually have the avatar, right? Or you could have the option to have the camera.
Yeah.
And people would take advantage. I think that was one of the games that they had to use the banhammer on the most.
Oh yeah, and I think that was the demise of the camera too.
Oh, I missed that part? Damn it.
Yeah.
I knew I missed something.
So Ubisoft, I almost said Ubisoft. Ubisoft is releasing the Uno game for PS4, Xbox One, and PC on August 9th. And it's going to come with, I think, various modes and things of that nature. I don't know. Just reading the article, it feels like it's pretty standard Uno type stuff.
But it will utilize voice and video chat.
Yep, so it's coming back, baby.
All over again.
Yep, so if you missed out, you can experience it again. And there's no, doesn't mention here if it's in the Steam or if it's going to be on the Windows 10 store. I would assume if it's Ubisoft, it's going to be on Steam. Or maybe it'll be on their little thing.
Yeah, it could be on theirs. But they've been pretty good about releasing on both, so they know that they're going to get more sales through Steam than if you have to use Uplay. Because a lot of people do not like Uplay.
And again, that is August 9th. August 16th is when the support of Destiny for PS3 and Xbox 360 will cease to exist. They will no longer be doing major updates for the game on those systems. They are now calling them legacy consoles. And again, this takes place on August 16th. Additionally, trials of Osiris and Iron Banner will no longer be available either. Also, playlists, quests, bounties, and rewards are going away after August. To me, I don't have a big issue over this. Consoles are coming up on 3 years old, the current ones, this November. Seems like they've given the game a long time to linger on the older systems. Do you guys agree, disagree?
Well, I mean, if the people can still play the game as it is, as far as it's been updated on those consoles for now, I mean, yeah, I mean, they've got to start proving it. So I think it's a good idea. Sean?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I mean, it's been long enough now. I mean, like you said, the new consoles are 3 years upcoming. So yeah, no, I agree 100%.
And it's kind of, I mean, the way Destiny works, because of each iteration is kind of a rebadging, and they, instead of putting out a new game, they're just updating the game. This is kind of their way of the updates make it a new game. At least they'll still be able to play them on the unupdated version. So
you also will no longer have access to your character data on Bungie.net, and you will no longer be able to purchase silver. If you have silver, you can spend it, but you cannot purchase any more silver. So the game is getting pretty much stripped down to just kind of core functionality.
Just give up the ghost.
Ooh. PlayStation news. Is No Man's Sky doomed because of legal troubles with the patent?
maybe.
So, let's see here. University of Antwerp professor Johan Gillius says he developed the super formula back in the early 2000s. So this super formula allows them, I guess, to, how would you say, create landscapes in a quicker way, make them appear quicker in the game.
Yeah. Quickly and easily generate land.
Right.
That just...
So he says that Hello Games didn't come to them and ask them for permission for this formula, and that they should have, and there possibly could be litigation. Now, Sean Murray on Twitter the other day had a very quick tweet on this, and he says, No Man's Sky doesn't actually use this super formula or infringe on a patent. This is a non-story. Everybody chill. He also went on to say, I wish Johan Gillius, the author, all the best in the future. We're going to meet and chat maths once the game is out. And I don't want to, in the open, I talked about tragic things that are going on in the world, and I don't want to sort of go back to that. And but I will make a comparison to what's going on right now in the Democratic Party with leaks and things like that. I feel like No Man's Sky is almost like the Bernie Sanders of video games. Right? Like, no one is giving this game a fair shake, and no one is willing along the way to sort of just let the fucking thing come out and be a game. It seems like on every step, there's an obstacle that this game has to go through to get out. And this is just the latest one. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I don't know Sean. I don't know Johan. I don't know. But Sean says it's not the case. This guy says it is. What do we think about this? But for a game, I can't remember a game in the past that has had so much drama around its release. I mean, certainly like Duke Nukem had a lot of drama, but that's because it got passed around. People went out of business. Things like this game has always been in development by the same person, same company. So I really don't understand. Are people jealous, envious? Is that what happens when you have something that's supposed to be groundbreaking, that other people are upset because their vision didn't come out first? And this one is getting the attention. I don't have the answer to that, but it seems like...
Well, people see an opportunity to glom on to something that they know is going to make a large quantity of money. And, if it wasn't so popular, these people probably wouldn't come out and be like, oh, well, they're using this. They're jumping on it. It's a way for them, something... They may have created it, and then they see the opportunity to be able to make money from it, too.
It seems kind of odd that it's coming out now. It's the end of July. It's going to be out in a few weeks. I mean, this is kind of odd. Like all these, the same thing happened with Ark, very before their their
Yep.
first year. Someone came out with this thing, it got swept under the rug, it's gone now, or whatever they did behind the scenes. This is probably what will happen here too.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems kind of odd that all these things are popping up like this, like all of a sudden, like a few weeks away from something happening. Oh, all of a sudden, yeah, now there's a copyright problem. So, I mean, it just seems weird.
Well, it's a patent on the actual formula that's used in it. So, and then they said that if you read in through, usually you can't patent the formula like that, but they do have something there that does specifically state software in certain softwares. So, if read properly, a game is software and can be covered under this, and that's part of why they're kind of going this way. And again, I believe, like I said, they see an opportunity to be able to make easy money. I mean, admittedly, they created the content piece of content there, or whatever, or to create the content, something to help create the content. So they're like, well, we can make money off of this. So.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. This game is coming out soon. So that Johan guy says, we believe No Man's Sky is the beginning of a new generation of games. What Hello Games did with the formula is very impressive. And he says eventually we'll have to come to the table. We've reached out to Hello Games, but understand that they've been busy trying to release their game. We trust that we will be able to discuss this in a normal way. So Sean's normal way of discussing it was tweeting it out that it was nonsense, and he'll talk math with the guy later down the road. Let's move on to some Xbox news. It looks
please.
If you do not log into Xbox Live within 5 years, say goodbye to your gamer tag. So starting on September 15th, and this will be retroactive, so if it's been 5 years, on September 15th, you're going to lose your gamer tag. But also going forward, if it's been 5 years, you will lose it. You won't lose anything you've purchased or your account per se, but you'll lose the actual name. How do you feel about that, Jay?
That's a tough one, because how do they tie it to you? Or I guess it's tied to the email, so you could technically lose the name, but you'd still have your account, because the account would be based off your email, I guess. So I guess, yeah, that would work. And I kind of like this because I have a tag that I want that I was waiting when they released all those tags back then, that I have seen that has been used. I mean, literally, it has no gamer score or anything. So that it couldn't have been used, but it's still just sitting there. So.
They don't say how quickly you'll be able to purchase them once they've been purged, if it will be an automatic thing or if it's got to wait some other amount of time before they release it.
Right, and they've only done that once so far. That big, was it the beginning of this year?
Something like that.
Yeah, and that's since, the original Xbox. So who knows how long it would be before they would actually release them again. So.
And to wrap this story up, they've also updated their code of conduct. They've included information about terrorism, so they've added a prohibition on posting of terrorist content. So don't do that or you will get the ban hammer. Right, folks?
Yeah, I got the email, but I haven't read it yet.
That's not good. Also, what's not good is my computer just locked up and I can't see the planner.
Ruh-roh.
Yep. Something on this Polygon story is not jiving. So, Jay, do me the favor and tell me what the next story is.
The next story is why Recore is $40.
Aaron Greenberg, I believe, went on some sort of podcast and said that this is a new title that people aren't aware of, and it is also at the beginning of their sort of holiday launch, the very, very beginning. So it was their way of sort of softly introducing a new IP to their gamers, and they said, what a better way to do that than is to release a new IP with this dream team and make it cheap for everybody.
Makes sense to me. I mean, most
you
people
think so?
usually are bitching. Yeah, people are usually bitching because why is this game $60? This isn't a $60 game. We don't even know what this is. I mean, and he's coming out and stating these facts, doing the other, saying, well, it's only a $40 game because, it's a new IP. People aren't familiar with it. It's a new franchise. We want to get people into it. So if we give them a low price point, they're more likely to jump into it.
You really believe that? In your heart of hearts, you really believe that?
I think that is partly marketing, and I do believe that, part of it is believable. But I'm also hoping that they went in it this way, and that the game is, do I think it was a $60 game? I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I can't.
I think it's
base it off of that. When it comes out, at that point in time, I'll say, okay, no, that was bullshit. It's just.
I think it's utter bullshit. That's the reason they're selling it for $40.
I think it's because their winter lineup is so solid that they don't want to cram this in there.
Right. I think if the game could stand on both legs and be worth $60, they would charge you $60. I think if you've listened to other podcasts that have played this game at E3, they're saying this is a bad game.
Yeah, see, I haven't heard that stuff. I haven't seen it. I'm not saying it's not there. I just haven't really looked into it.
I just think they realized they got something in their hands that is not as good as what they initially thought it was going to be, and rather than dealing with the blowback on day one of giving you a $60 title that's not great, let's soften the blow and positively spin it. Here's a $40 game on a new IP. Try it out. You might like it.
Okay, let me put my Microsoft hat on now. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've also gone back and done things with like Halo. All the add-on stuff was free. I mean, they could have charged for season pass, whatnot. So they've kind of been going in that direction. They're trying to. I think it's part of them trying to get back and start getting more sales too.
And they just released.
So it could be. It's still. That's why I say for this it's believable. So.
I'm not buying it. No. I'm not buying it at all. But that's two different opinions. That's all. I'm not buying it.
Exactly.
If money makers can make money, they'll make money.
Yeah.
Also, they have lowered the price on the 500 gigabyte again. 500 gigabyte Xbox One S. It is now $249.
Oh, not the S, correct? Just
the regular. The regular.
The standard Xbox.
The vanilla Xbox One 500 gigabyte is $249.
Yeah, and they even had, I can't remember where I saw it, there was a deal somewhere, $209 plus a game.
Last Xbox news here. Former Xbox executive admitted that there was internal plans to release the X-Boy, which is sort of, I guess, a play on the Virtual Boy, a handheld by Xbox, but they said they couldn't get their act together and really focus on it. The 360 was in full swing at that time, and they had enough obstacles as it was, so they could not release a handheld. They did have some sort of internal sketches or drawings, no prototypes or anything like that, but it was internally called the X-Boy and some other names. I think they made the right call there not to release it.
And that was during a 360 time,
360
correct?
era, right, yep.
Yeah. So, and I mean, there was some rumors of that at one point in time, but, this shows that it actually was true, so...
So a couple things that I missed that I want to go back and correct. The Dilligaff we had on Marvel Ultimate Alliance, that game is actually coming out on July 26th. I think I said August 9th. So that's July 26th. That's actually next Tuesday, this Tuesday coming up, 2 days from now. And at the end of the community question, I didn't get your guys' opinions on the community question this week. You missed 1 week and you're all out of sorts. So I know...
Off the rails.
So I wanted to circle back to that, Sean, because I know you play a lot of games with the mods, like 7 Days to Die, Fallout, and Ark. So what is your opinion on that question?
I kind of agree with Detroit Slasher. Is I believe that when you're a big developer like Fallout, like Bethesda is, they should be making the game the right way the first time and not having to put mods in to make it look nice or clear it up or change the graphics or any of that stuff. When you add in different kinds of weapons and stuff like that, that's a different story. Mods are fine with that. But I mean, as far as making your game look better, you should be doing that first. And a mod should just be enhancing your experience.
No. I would agree with that, especially coming from Bethesda. They have the infrastructure, the financial abilities to hire people, to come up with a new engine, to do all that sort of stuff. Now, the Ark people, 7 Days to Die people, that's a different story. Those are smaller teams that are just getting their first game out. Mm-hmm. So I agree. I don't have a bigger issue. I don't have an issue with that. If they've already put their heart and soul into releasing the base game as best it could be, and then mods come along, that's why they have the Steam Workshop. If those things come along and they can help them out in any way, I don't have a problem with that. But I do have a problem with saying, hey, we get so much content in Fallout 4 that we spent all this time coming up with the dialogue, the different factions, that we didn't really have time to make it look pretty in all the ways we could. We'll let the mods handle that. Well, that doesn't sit right.
Yeah, and I mean with Wildcard, the one prop I do want to give them lots of props because they're very good people. But the one thing, they've never said no to the community. They've been putting stuff in the game, changing stuff like on the fly. Like literally, like all the patches we get all week are from things that they said, yeah, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Or there's two answers they give. They either give yes, or they give maybe the mods will come up with something. They never say no. They never say, nah, we'll look into that later. They don't say any of that, which is impressive for a very small studio to even go that route. So I just want to make sure no one thought I was busting their balls last week. It was just Bethesda who I was after, because, I mean, those guys should have their shit together.
Well, I wrote them a long letter telling them that you were busting their balls. They should probably got that by now. I sent that via certified mail.
Oh, well, good. I'm sure they have it already.
Yeah.
So.
Now, you in the question you said enhance the game. So that means not trying to, finish it up or whatnot, correct?
Well, yeah, enhance it, graphically, or adding content to it. You know what I mean? Developers should take care of that themselves.
I agree with that, but there are some examples too. Was it CS:GO that was made from? Yeah, sure, it was an orange box there.
Are you talking about like Day of Defeat?
No, wasn't CS:GO a mod off of? Wasn't that a mod from?
Was it?
I did just turn 45, so I have almost an excuse. But
I think a better one would be DayZ and Arma. DayZ was an Arma mod. That would be better. Then they split that off and then made DayZ a better running simulator. I guess is pretty much what something like that.
Yeah, I mean those games. But those games came from mods that were created from other games, came out of them, and then came out and became Portal was kind of the same thing. Instead of the gravity gun, they turned it into a portal gun, and it was a mod that they came in and they actually hired the people that created it. But that was not enhancing a game. That was them taking a game, using it, and then modding it and creating a whole new game. I guess a better example would probably be this new map you were talking about for Ark. It was actually a mod that somebody had made within Ark.
Yeah, the center map, Evil Mr. Frank he modded a map. He's a developer. He did a couple of different other games. I think Castle Crashers was one of them. He worked on the artistic stuff of it. Yeah. And Wildcard picked him up, and now he works for them.
Yeah.
So to circle back to Jay's point real quick, Counter-Strike Go was a port of Counter-Strike Source for Xbox Live Arcade. So not a mod, it was a port.
All right, and then what was the original one before that? So, but yeah, I mean, just it kind of along those lines, for the gravity gun, like I said, for Portal, stuff like that, the center map, stuff like that. But those enhance the game, but I don't think that it was intended for people to make a mod to fix issues they had within the game. I mean, there's a fine line there, I guess. It goes beyond. We could probably have an entire podcast about it, but let's not do that.
I could be like Shonuff, and I don't think I've used really any mods that I can think of. Maybe there was one game. I can't remember what it was. Not
the only one I can ever using it on was the original Diablo.
Skyrim,
or was it
right?
Diablo 2?
Skyrim?
Actually, no. The only thing I've put in is the high-res texture pack, which is actually they released it. So I haven't run an actual mod yet. So.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. This is episode 161, Sunday, July 24th. Any plugs or shout-outs, guys? How about you, Joe? What's going on with Trade Waiters?
So what I think about mods...
Oh, yes, I haven't got to you today.
Poor Joe.
Sidetrack
We still love you.
It's all right. All the Fallout talk had me pretty silent this show. So
yeah, that's all right.
I'm sure you forgot about me. I haven't actually really used any mods. I've used trainers to, I guess, I don't know if I guess there's a fine line on whether or not you want to count that as a mod, right? So
I
I've
don't even know
used
what a trainer
trainers.
is.
A trainer is something that you use to do like multipliers, or it's basically like a hack tool for a game that allows you. I used one on what is that game called? Oh my gosh, the one with the farming that came out really recently and was super popular.
See, it's not just me.
Farming simulator?
No. It's like a Harvest Moon homage game.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember the name of that one.
Well, either way, I used one on that game, and I just made it so time went by really fast, and I didn't get tired, and Stardew Valley, by the way, and
There you go.
and that's not necessarily a mod per se, or maybe it is because I am, I guess, modifying how the game works. But it's not a permanent one. Like as a trainer, I just hit a button and it gives me a multiplier, and I can turn it off. So I don't know. I'm not adding like skins or changing necessarily how people interact in the game and stuff like that. That's kind of like what I think of when I think mods. Or
Gotcha.
I guess back in the day with Half-Life, I played like Gary
And
mod,
there it is.
Sven mod, and stuff like that. So maybe that counts.
Yeah.
Those are mods.
Counter-Strike
So-
was a mod of Half-Life. The original Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and so is Day of Defeat.
Yep.
And then Team Fortress was a mod for Quake.
Yep.
And then a mod for Half-Life with Team Fortress Classic. So I guess I'm cool with mods, but, devs shouldn't rely on them. But if they want to implement them into their own game and charge for them afterwards, as long as they're in the good graces with the original developer and have the okay to use the engine and everything, like, I'm totally cool with it. But if mods are just like, here's half a game, or here's a game that's kind of bust, you guys fix it, it'll be fine. I think that's whack. That's cheap
Yeah.
as hell. That's just like ridiculous and lazy.
Yeah, but like I said, I totally agree. If they're using it like, okay, we'll put this out, we know there's an issue with it, but we're going to let the community fix it, that's crap.
For sure.
For sure.
But now I'll go ahead and go into my shout-outs.
Do it!
We recorded the most recent episode of Trade Waiters. I'm sorry, the TradeWaiters.com official podcast on this last Thursday. And we put that out on Sunday or Saturday, one of the two. And we talked about Sandman, the first volume. It's an 8-issue comic. It came out in the late 80s, and it's super goth. But it's pretty good. So if you're interested in things that are gothic, or Neil Gaiman and his writing, or just hearing me talk about things that I really like comic books, go ahead and check that out.
Cool. Sean, how about yourself? Any shout outs, plugs?
Just shout out you guys, the listeners, everybody. Shout out to Homestead, who I play with on, who's been playing with me on 7 Days to Die. Two people in particular, Alicia and Sergeant Viper, were on day 112, I think. So the hordes are getting bigger, and my frame rates are going down. So it's awesome, but it's a lot of fun.
And you're jumping into Far Harbor soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully this week, probably Friday or so. I'm gonna pick up Far Harbor and give that a shot. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, Bahaba.
Far Harbor. Well, quickly, what did you end when you finished your playthrough? What level were you at?
Oh,
approximately, if you had to guess.
God, I think like 30 something.
Mm-hmm. And Jay, what about you?
I don't remember. I think I was 40. I'm not sure.
I finished at 45.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. It could be 40, 50. I don't know. I have to go back in. It's been so long since I looked at it. But I'll give my shout out here. A delayed one for forgetting last week. It was Devious Mr. Matt when he, what was it, 2 weeks ago? He was in a motorcycle accident. And
Evil Knievel?
Yeah, I'm very glad that he did not suffer too much from it, but it could have been worse. So glad that what happened, the way it happened in that way, because very little happened, and he is on the mend with just a bad back, I think, right now, that should heal. So glad to hear that, and I wanted to give him a shout out because I should have done that last week, and so put that out there. And what is it? Wave, WAVVE?
Yep.
Yes. So get on that and send us some verbal.
Yeah. Corey couldn't send his verbal answer in this week because he was in the deep woods of Maine again, shooting his high school buddies and hanging out with the deer.
Dick Cheney.
He was Dick Cheney and his high school buddies.
He was Dick Cheney. So, yes. So, I guess that brings us to the end here. So,
Oh, hey, I don't get shout-outs. Come on now.
So we're going to let Mike do his shout-outs, and then we'll call it out.
None of the other guys wished you happy birthday, so I'll wish you happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Congratulations on 45.
I made it. Not dead yet.
I want to shout out to I don't know if it's shout out or condolences to Matt's wallet. He bought 3 $11 drinks last night for his wife. I'm sure he's looking.
You could have had a sofa delivered for that.
What were those? They were blue. Were they AMFs?
I don't know.
He was saying adios, motherfucker, to his $11. That's for sure.
So condolences to your wallet there, Matt. I'm sure you scrounged around the house today trying to make up for that $33 plus tip. And shout out to all the listeners and all the other podcasts that keep us going throughout the week. Keep doing what you're doing. We recognize that summer months are slow as far as, people are on vacation, not always listening. But please try to catch up. It improves our, our morale. If you keep listening, because that's why we'll keep turning the lights on every Sunday night. Now you can edit, Jay.
Till next time, same beta time, same beta channel.
Oh my God, it's so fucking hot in my office right now. I think I'm a puddle.
I'm fucking sweat my balls off because my damn air conditioner makes too much noise, so I have to shut the door. Right now, I'm sweating so much, I think I'm slipping out of my chair.
I am like soaked. I mean, just the 2 monitors, the computer, the microphone.
Oh, that room. Yeah, that room would be killer.
It is.
I'm just chilling.